Welcome to the Fantasy Football Press Box with your hosts, Scott Fitzgerald and Sean Clemens.
What is up, fantasy world? Welcome to the Fantasy Football Press Box. Woo, woo, woo. December 9th, week 15. How's it going out there? I'm here today with a fantasy football mashup. We have Sudden Death Fantasy Sports and FanCred here today. My good buddy Scott, always with me, co-hosting. How you doing today, Scotty?
What is happening? Looking forward to week 15, and we have an industry guest in today.
Absolutely. We've got our good friend from FanCred, Armin. How's it going, brother? How you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. What's up, everyone? Thanks for having me on the show. Slick intro, by the way. So good to be here.
We try. You know, it's the poop emoji costume, I think, that really like puts that kind of, you know, that nice little on the end of it there.
100%.
Right. You know, that's our Duddy Award. You know, that'll be handed out here in a few weeks. As soon as the fantasy season ends, we're going to get another Duddy Award out there for whoever earns it. We'll put it that way. So, man, what a week this week, huh, guys? I mean, you talk about some fantasy scoring going on. We had a lot of points coming around. This was a very, very crucial week. It was make or break for a lot of us in our teams. I mean, Armin, I'm going to start with you, brother. How did you do as far as just your overall general fantasy? Did you 50-50 as far as playoffs and non-playoffs, 70-30? Where are you at?
It's about there was one league where I had made the playoffs every single year since 2012. It finally broke down this year, unfortunately. It wasn't this week. This week was great for me, but Lamar Jackson the past 3 weeks, terrible. So that cost me. But looking good for the rest of my leagues.
Nice. Yeah, Lamar Jackson has literally been a thorn in pretty much everybody's side who owned him all season long. Scott, where are you at, dog? Did you get it to at least over the 50% mark?
Let's say I just, for better sake, limped into the playoffs. I was a juggernaut throughout the year in most of my redraft leagues, and I'm on Ra, and a lot of the injuries kind of caught up with me. So I was going from like looking at first round buys to like in as the 5 or 6 seed. So I don't know. I guess I'm gonna cross my fingers and hope I at least get 1 or 2 ships out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat. I think I ended up with like maybe in that like 60-40 range, if I'm lucky, that 65-35 area. So I did decent, you know, as far as that's concerned. We'll see. Obviously, just making the playoffs is only half the battle. Like, we got to see how this next situation goes through. The one good thing, though, for me that I'm really happy about is that in at least half, if not slightly more than half of the leagues I did make the playoffs, I have a bye, which is
Nice.
awesome for the situation that we're dealing with right now and some of these injuries and some of these unknowns that are coming up this week. So I'm definitely excited to have that opportunity just to sit back and watch. So you got a lot of bye weeks in yours, Armin?
No, actually, like this past week, yeah, I dropped out of the bye weeks. So wasn't a good week for me. I limped into most leagues into the playoffs. At least that's how it feels like now.
Wow. So both of you guys, huh? So I'm going to have to be the energy for this show. You guys are both just kind of barely surviving for the week this week.
A little rough, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's better than, you know, sitting on the couch, you know, not even getting to look at your phone.
Right? Oh, man. So if you guys haven't already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Me and Scott do this every week. Hopefully we'll have Armin on more and more often as we move forward. FanCred is definitely something that we're going to get into a little bit more later as far as the actual like breakdown on what FanCred does. But it's really an exciting thing for Sudden Death Fantasy Sports and FanCred moving forward with some of the things we're going to offer in 2026. So it's just awesome to have everybody together and working towards this mutual goal. So I'm really excited about how that's going to happen. And, you know, I do want to move forward with the show because we got to talk about so many things on our first down this week. Hot off the press, you know, the one thing everybody's talking about right now, Daniel Jones going down. I mean, I felt really bad for him. I mean, Scott literally coined one of his favorite phrases. He sucks at football because of this man. And he has done everything all season long to prove Scott wrong in that phrase. And he's done a great job of it until he gets injured. And he even played through that for a few weeks. And then I think because of that, his other leg was just like, man, I'm done. It packed its bags and took its Achilles and left. And the poor guy is going to be done for the year now and probably bleed into a little bit of next year, at least in the prep range and minimum with his injury. And, the future is unknown. We don't know where he's going to be, if he's going to be in Indy or what. They say they want him. We don't know. But Armin, man, how did this affect you going forward? Not only with him, but with like Jonathan Taylor, who's been the stud back of the season so far.
Yeah, I actually have him in one of those leagues I mentioned that I dropped a bye. He was my number one QB along with Darnold. Kind of a shaky QB situation. But, this is interesting for the Colts going forward. I see that they were going to extend him, but now they have every right to not. Maybe they avoided a New York Giants situation where they did extend him and he's actually going to play bad the next few years. Like, it's sad to see for Daniel Jones, but if I was a Colts fan, I actually wouldn't take this too hard. I might be on the side of like, I'll still look for another quarterback.
Yeah. How do you think, Scott? You feel the same way as far as Colts fans' opinions should be?
I mean, he had a great year, and it's he helped them, put themselves in a position at the top of the conference, and with the help of Jonathan Taylor. But we're in a league where all teams are thirsty for quarterbacks and thirsty for good quarterbacks, and I think they should extend him. He fits the Steichen offense to a T, and they're just going to really have to lean on Jonathan Taylor now. I mean, if you want to run a guy into the ground, it's time to do it now, because your playoff hopes are dwindling, as we speak. So you have an elite back in the backfield. You're just going to have to run them with the ball. And they did sign good old creaky Phillip Rivers. So
hey, now you slow down, buddy. We haven't gotten to that point yet. All right, you guys, you gotta wait your turn here, buddy. We haven't talked about old Phillip Rivers yet. He's our next. If you're gonna go there, we might as well just move right on over to.
I was segueing right into it.
I mean, hey, I guess I'm going to tell you guys that my opinion on Daniel Jones is basically, I'm sorry. That's pretty much all I could say. I feel so bad for the kid. And I do think that this is a good thing for the Colts fans, because in the long run, did you really want to spend the money on this Daniel Jones because of this one season and then end up in that boat? I don't think you did. I think you'd rather approach the new rookie quarterback and try to go that route. So I'm with you on that. But man, Phillip Rivers, the ghost of Phillip Rivers, right? Back wearing the same number. I wonder if he's going to rock 17. Like, how funny would that be? He comes back out rocking 17 again after Daniel just went down wearing it earlier. That would be insane. But man, dude, I do not think Phillip Rivers is going to bring anything to the table. I think this is the worst possible situation they could do. They'd better off going with some, backup somewhere and trying to get that kind of play out of him, because I think Phillip is just toast. Where are you at on Phillip?
Are they doing this because Leonard's hurt? I don't know if I thought he.
Yeah, they are talking about. He's got a like a sprained PCL, I think it is, or something like that. So they are talking about having to have somebody, at least they need a warm body at that position at this point. But I mean, is Phillip Rivers even a warm body?
I mean, I'm excited to see it. Just growing up, I grew up with that era of quarterbacks. Manning, Rivers, Brady. It's exciting to see this guy come back, and I don't know. I think I could eke out some wins.
I don't know. It feels like watching Ric Flair enter a wrestling ring. It's just what you're gonna see is just not pretty. I'm sorry, man. I can't help but feel bad for those Colts fans, man, because they really were having kind of that Cinderella season, and this is just like, I mean, it's like getting the old 1-2. It's like Daniel Jones, Phillip Rivers, like you just got boom, boom. So. I don't know, man. I'm just, I feel terrible. I really do for those poor guys. But what's up, Cyborg? I didn't say hi to you. I'm sorry, brother. How you doing, man? You're one of our regulars, always in here right out the gate, and we appreciate you for it.
I'm bored.
So next up, man, let's talk about something really sad. Zach Ertz, torn ACL. Man, I think he's done, man. I think that's the end of him for his career. And you hate to see that happen for a player like that, to go down, not only have it happen that way as far as the injury, but also just have them have such a down season after such a hype year last year. And I'm sure the reason he came back was because he really sincerely in his heart of hearts thought that he had an opportunity at a Super Bowl ring for, with a send-off year. And it it wasn't meant to be. And not only that, he ends up hurting himself, which at this point, I mean, the comeback for next year would be mid-season at best. So it just doesn't make sense for me to have a guy like that come back. He's had a great career. You've done great things, man. I mean, you got a beautiful wife who also herself is very athletically gifted too, super soccer star. So, I mean, I just think if I was him, I'd get into some media or something moving forward. And I do salute you for such a great career, my friend. I think you did a great job out there on the field, and you were a good representation of what a football player should be. So, hats off to Mr. Zach Ertz and his, NFL career. Armin, you got any thoughts on Mr. Ertz, man? I know if you have many fantasy leagues that you're going through the playoffs and he was filling in for you in such a weird position this year.
Nah, I same sentiments, man. What a great career he's had. I think he does have a Super Bowl ring. He was for a while in that top 3 tight end position. He fell off a little bit. People started ignoring him a bit, but when he came back on the Commanders, it was great to see that. Oh, okay, this guy still got it. So sad to see him go off like this, but hey, great career. You can't ask for much more than that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you talked to him and told him, 15 years ago that, you're going to have this type of NFL career, but it's going to end on a torn ACL on a lost season, I think he'd probably take that 10 out of 10 times. So, he's definitely had that type of career that, it's going to put him on that verge of Hall of Fame discussions as time goes on. I don't know if he'll ever make it in, but he'll be on the cusp as we go through the next, so many years. Scotty, what do you think of Zach, man?
Well, he did inquire about retirement a few years back. And then he did say he thought with Jaden Daniels coming in, they made that little playoff push last year, that he wanted to stick around and see if, what could happen going forward. But yeah, this injury for his age, it's pretty hard to come back from, especially an older player like that. So it wouldn't shock me if he retires, but you never know the will of these guys. They want to try to get back on the field as soon as possible. And a lot of these guys, they don't want to go out with an injury. They want to recover. They want to show that they can come back, give it one more year and then go out on their own terms. So I root for him. I've always been a Zach Ertz, truther. And, so I hope he recovers and comes back for one more year.
I mean, he is a prime candidate for that, like join a team right at the end of the season for a playoff run to try to help push them over the edge type of player. If he stays in shape and has a desire to do that next year, he'd be that type of guy for sure. So we'll see how it plays out with him. Like I said, hats off to you, my friend. And if this is the last time we see you on a football field, we enjoyed each and every play that you were out there for us. Speaking of being out there for us and enjoying everything that we're doing, Cyborg, I'm telling you, man, I know you're here now. Stick around to the end of the show. Anybody who's listening, stick around to the end of the show. We've got audience participation coming up. We're going to need your guys' helps to pick some long shots. All right. And you're going to find out more about long shots when we get into our third down and talk a little bit more fan cred. But you guys are going to be helping us make these picks. So make sure you're here for that and give us some insight, because without you guys, we won't know what we're doing. So feel free to join in on that part. Next up on the Hot Off the Press, we're talking Jaden Daniels going down again. Now, they held him out of the game. I don't know for sure if he's planning on, if it was more of a precautionary issue or if he was sore enough to where he didn't want to try to finish out the game or not. I'm concerned that we're looking at an RG3 repeat. And not him specifically, but the way that they're approaching him in his injury situation is what scared me. I think he's a much better quarterback than RG3, and I'm not worried about him as far as that part of it is concerned. I think it's the injury situation and the way they're treating it is giving me shades of RG3, and maybe it's PTSD or something, but I don't like it, and I don't like it one bit. Scotty, I mean, what do you feel about this? Do you think that they should just sit Jaden at this point and for the rest of the season so that he can fully heal and be ready for next year?
The Commanders are 3-10. I mean, what are you running him out there for? I mean, it's let Mucus Mariota finish the season. You're just asking for lingering injuries throughout the year, and it's not good mentally for him either, running him out there and he keeps getting hurt. There's no reason to put him back out there. It's your franchise quarterback. You finally found one, which is very hard for teams to find franchise quarterbacks. You have nothing to play for. Dan Quinn doesn't have to worry about his job. He's going to be fine there. just sit the guy and move on, please.
Exactly. Armin, you got any different thoughts on that, or are you in the same boat with us?
I mean, one thing I could see, like I completely agree. If I was the GM or coach of the Commanders, like, hey, sit down. We're not playing for anything. But maybe he wants to be out there. That's one thing we don't get to see or know about a player just demanding to be out there. So I'm for that too. But yeah, let's not hurt him anymore. He's got the talent to be a franchise quarterback. Preserve that. Carry on to next year.
Exactly. I've seen too many quarterbacks get hurt, not only by injury, but also psychologically in scenarios like this that has affected the rest of their career. And I don't want that to happen to him. So I'm with you guys too. I'd say just sit the man, let him see how things go the rest of the year. Watch Marcus play the last few games and then focus on 2026. So that's going to do it for our hot off the press. And our second down, he went off segment. We are going to roll right into this week's games, which, man, we talked about earlier, right? This great slate of games this week. First game up, we're talking my Bills, baby. Go Bills. Kicking butt, 39-34. I mean, talk about a game, man. I mean, it seems like every time the Bills, Bengals, Chiefs, like any one of those three teams plays one of the other three teams, they always have these types of games. And I mean, it was not another disappointment. When I saw the snow falling, I was a little concerned because I know those Bengals play well in the snow, and we got destroyed by them the last time we played them in the snow. And it looked like it was going to start the same way. And then, man, did that turn around, baby? That pick six was probably one of the most epic things I've ever seen. And to follow it up with an interception on the next play too, and get followed back-to-back TDs behind each of those turnovers, it warmed my heart, man. It really did. It brought my Bills out of timeout, and I felt just like Dumb and Dumber because they totally redeemed themselves, and I am ready for a playoff run. Scott, I know you want to throw some rain on my parade right now, but man, I mean, can you say anything bad about my Bills at this point?
No, they probably creep back into my top 10. I mean, but talk about a fantasy bonanza. I mean, you get points, you get points, you get points. Everyone was getting points. And this is the kind of game you want to see if you're a fantasy player, is scoring. And that's what we got.
Absolutely. I mean, it definitely did feel like an Oprah episode there for a while. Josh he got 252 for 3 TDs. He had 9 carries for 78 yards and one really nice long touchdown that made a huge difference in the game. Ended up with a total of 43 fantasy points. And then, as you just stated, I mean, Joe ended up with 31 fantasy points, going 25 at 36, 4 TDs, 2 picks. T coming back with a big game after injury, he had 6 catches, 92 yards, 2 TDs, total of 27 points for him. So, I mean, it was pretty much, sky's the limit for guys out there not named Chase. Jamar, didn't have a great game. Chase Brown was all right, but Jamar didn't have a great game. Otherwise, he's really the only one. The rest of them were doing awesome. Even Gesicki got in there. So, man, it was definitely a game. Armin, did this game? You said you had a rough week. Was this game part of it?
Giving me PTSD, man. Josh Allen pretty much started going off. I was like, all right, my season's done. And I had Jamar Chase going as well. So everything you just said, give me PTSD. Oh, man. But,
he's like, I'm out.
But Bengals, if you got a game against the Bengals, like bet the over, start all your players there. It's always a good time with the Bengals.
Oh yeah,
I know, right? I mean, and now that their season's kind of officially over, I think Hendrickson had surgery, if I'm not mistaken, so he's officially done for the year now. And so, I mean, it's wheels up for anybody playing against that defense. It's fantasy this week and next week, as far as that's concerned, because you basically ride them all the way to a ship if you can. You don't really get the opportunity to go picking people up off the waiver wire too much at this point in the game. But if you absolutely in dire straits and need anything, the third wide receiver playing against the Bengals might just be good enough.
Yeah.
So, oh man, the next game, man, Jaguars 36, Colts 19. We just talked about the devastating injury to Daniel Jones. Trevor, he did okay. He did just enough to win the game. He had 17 of 30 for 244 yards, 2 TDs, 4 carries for only 16 yards, but that was enough. Gave him 22 fantasy points in the win. Talk a little Jaguars, Armin. What do you think about this squad in general? Beyond him, we had ETN, who had a good game too. Do you think that, fantasy-wise moving forward, that you trust either of those players after what we've seen prior to this week?
I was calling for ETN to have a good bounce back year. I think he was like 6th round ADP or whatever, and I was like, oh, that's amazing value, and I'm being proven right, thankfully. But oh man, I don't know what to think about this Jaguar squad. What's their record? I need to look that up, but it's good, right?
9-4.
Yeah,
They're
9-4. Yeah,
9-4.
they're in their division now.
I don't believe it.
I know.
I still don't believe
it. It's sneaking up on you, isn't it?
Liam Cohen, maybe he's a great coach. I don't know. I think they're going to get trounced in the first round of the playoffs and be like, okay, there it is. But we'll see. We'll see. It's probably exciting, very exciting for Jacksonville fans, and cool to see. But man, I don't feel it still, which is weird. 9-4 is great.
Right. It's totally right. They are definitely that team this year that just feels like. I mean, the closest thing I could think of was the Buccaneers a year or two ago when they kind of were in that same boat. Like they just kept kind of winning games, but barely, and they weren't really flashy, and they weren't really like anything special. But somehow they ended up winning their division anyways, and so on and so forth. Like that's kind of the same way I feel about these Jaguars. I think they're kind of backdooring almost into this with Daniel Jones's injury, and Houston taking forever to get their together. So I don't think that they'll stay there. I think they've got some pretty decent matchups coming up, if I'm not mistaken, that could potentially make a difference in that division. So Houston's not far behind. I think they're only one game off, right, Scott? So
yeah,
that's a team I'd be worried about more so than anything else if I was Jacksonville. And it wouldn't shock me at all if Jacksonville and Indianapolis don't make the playoffs.
Oh wow, yeah.
Wow. I know, right? Hot take. What do you think, Scott?
They got pretty much a cakewalk next week. They got the Jets at home, so they should be able to get to 10 wins. But yeah, all year, I don't know. This is like a Jekyll and Hyde team. Trevor Lawrence has been up and down, but their defense has played a lot better lately. Travis Etienne, I think the offense truly runs through him. I mean, anytime he gets 15 to 20 carries, they usually win the game. He's an explosive back, running through, up between the tackles and good out of the passing game, a little bit of tooting at the goal line. And then the reemergence of Brian Thomas Jr. I mean, he only had 3 catches, but if they can get this guy involved.
One of them was an amazing grab, though.
Yeah. And the guy I talked about last week, get him on your team if he was left out on waivers, getting a little bit of Strange, Brandon Strange, very, very good for that offense. So I don't know, man. I guess it depends who they match up against in the playoffs, and I think they got to be at home.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think that the definite home field advantage makes a difference for them, and they're a Florida team too. So getting into some of these cold weather playoff games, we'll see how that plays out for them. That might not work out well for those Florida boys. We'll see how it happens. The next game we want to talk about is the little Steelers-Ravens. Steelers holding on 27 versus Ravens 22. Rodgers saving Tomlin from having another week of hearing about getting fired. So, that's definitely his best buddy right now. They're ayahuasca pals. Aaron came out here. He threw 23 of 34 for 284 and a TD. He had 2. How do you get 2 carries for 0 yards? I don't know, but it's what it said. It might have been 10. I don't know. But it was 1 TD. It's 24 total points. That to me is, it's a much ado about nothing game. Honestly, I think that both of these teams kind of suck. And the only reason that they're even in the talk right now is because they're in the same division. That's it. Armin, what do you think, man? You got any faith in either of these two? I mean, obviously Ravens, they're basically out of it now, but you got any faith in the Steelers as far as like an actual team to worry about?
No, nah, these teams don't have it. The AFC North is a little weak this year.
Especially thinking it was going to be the best division in football when we came in to start the season, didn't we?
Yeah. There's a lot of Metcalf went off, which is like surprising to me because I benched him everywhere, and of course it was like, okay, there you go. But not too interested in the AFC North right now.
Yeah, you're right. Metcalf did have a great game, 7-0 for 148 and 21 total fantasy points. Jackson actually got in the end zone again for the first time in weeks. He ended up with 19 of 35. He ended up with 1-1 TD and a pick, and then he ran 7 times, 43 yards and another TD. Flowers had a good game, 8 for 124, 20 points total for him. But I just think that team is in shambles. And do you, Scott, do you feel like that they're going to have to kind of do like one of those soft rebuilds next year in that with that team, or do you think that they can just kind of run it back with a few small changes?
Offensively, I think they're fine. It's just their defense has just been, I mean, if there's a sucks at football alert horn, it'd be going like off right now, because the defense was supposed to be their strong suit going into the season, and they've been basically a sieve the whole year. So, but yeah, soft rebuild on defense. I could definitely see it. But both these teams are just sucks at football alert. I mean, I don't see these teams going anywhere in the playoff. If they even, well, the Ravens aren't going to be in the playoffs. If the Steelers find a way to get in, they're a one and done team also.
Yeah, I mean, one of the two is going to make the playoffs, and because I don't think anybody else is taking that division down. So whoever it is, they're going to get a home playoff game, probably the Steelers, and they'll probably get just demolished by whoever it is they play. Because I'm sorry, but unfortunately, it's probably going to be the Bills at this point, the way things are looking. And so, if you put the Bills and the Steelers, an angry Bills team that's pissed off that they're not playing in Highmark, I'm sorry, Aaron, man, but you're going to have another one of those games like you had a couple weeks back. So just be prepared, Steelers fans. Don't get too excited. Just roll into the season like you do every year, where Tomlin barely wins you enough games to stay above 500, and then you guys are one and done. Next game he went off. Seahawks 37, Falcons 9. I mean, look, Armin over here. He's got his hands up. He's showing off his Seahawks flags. JSN, man, the season this kid's having, 7 catches, 92, and a TD for another 28 points in fantasy. I mean, it's a season for the ages. He could end up being the best fantasy season and regular like NFL season for a wide receiver the way things are looking. So, I mean, what do you think about having this man and Sam Darnold on your team moving forward? You think Sam Darnold is the man? Are you willing to pay Sam Darnold, $200 million for the next 4 years to be your quarterback?
I mean, I think you have to. I don't see many other options being better than a Sam Darnold right now. I still worry about him. Like you see the score 37-9, but you forget that the half was at 6-6, right?
Yeah.
So it was a little shaky, and Darnold has shown a lot of shakiness this year. I mean, he's had a great season, but still a lot of shakiness. That's the only thing that prevents me from just being like, yeah, everyone else, Seahawks are going to win the Super Bowl. We look great. Mike McDonald's got this defense just rolling. I expected that this year. I didn't expect our offense to be this good. So, much kudos to Kubiak there. But yeah, it's a special season. I hope it keeps rolling onto San Francisco in February. And if we're there, my wallet's going to be hurting, but I'm going to be there.
Hey, do what you got to do, man. I'm you know what? Like when it comes to money, you can always make more, but these experiences don't come around often.
100%.
Right? Do what you got to do. So yeah, no, I don't blame you, man. I'd be stoked about it as a Seahawks fan too, just because it's not like it doesn't feel like it's one of those one and done seasons. It feels like they have like at least enough core players to be able to be a strongly competitive team in the NFC for a few years running. So I definitely do like their trajectory in that aspect.
100%.
Scotty, man, what do you think about the situation here with JSN in Seattle? And then after that, I want to hear your thoughts about Bijan in Atlanta and what you think of that moving forward, because now this is 2 weeks in a row here where Gibbs has basically spanked Bijan as far as, chasing that 1.1 next year.
Right. Well, first of all, I got a little question here for Armin. So you're on the clock. You're staring at Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb. If George Pickens, assume that George Pickens is no longer with the Cowboys anymore. So you got Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, or Jackson Smith and Jigba. Rank these 3 players. Which guy would you take?
Oh, Jackson Smith and Jigba.
So you're talking 2026 redraft ranking.
Yes, sir. You're on the
Jackson
clock. Who
Smith
you taking?
One. Assuming the quarterback situation is the same, right? Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Yeah, everything's the same except George Pickens is no longer with the Cowboys.
Oh, okay. I'll put JSN 1, Chase 2, Lamb 3.
There you go. Boom goes the dynamite right there.
So you're putting JSN as your number 1 by far top wide receiver in 2026 for fantasy.
Oh, of course, man. Kubiak's probably gonna. Well, if he gets a head coaching gig, yeah. But JSN, I mean, I love to watch
You
him
got some
play.
lime green Kool-Aid or something sitting on your desk there, buddy? 'Cause,
Of course there's going to be bias involved, but I'm trying to take it out. I mean, you just watch him play, man. He's incredible. Silky smooth, just catches the ball. It's just like, it's pleasing to watch. It's pleasing to the eye. Sometimes that's worth more than just fantasy points, right? It's like, oh, yeah. This is going
Yep.
good.
No, I agree everything that he says. He's silky smooth. He's got no one there to
you guys keep saying silky smooth, and I just keep thinking of Soul Glow.
Yeah. Well, he's got, and the other thing too, people don't realize he has nobody to protect him in that offense. He's at least in Cincinnati, you got T. Higgins on the other side. If they do keep George Pickens, you got he's protecting Lamb, or it could be the other way around. So and ask Minnesota if they wish they had Sam Darnold back. So I think Sam Darnold's the real deal there. He fits in good with that offense. Sometimes these guys just need a change of scenery to make things work out. And then to answer your second question about Bijan, I said, I might have said it last week, or it might have been something that me and you talked about off air, is I think Jahmyr Gibbs is definitely going to be the 1.1 next year in non-super flex leagues. The thing with Bijan, as much as I love him, that offense is just not good. They're going to have a quarterback issue next year. So I don't know, man. Just I hate it because I really like Bijan a lot. But yeah, if I'm sitting there and I'm staring at both of them, I think Jahmyr Gibbs has finally cemented himself in my mind as the 1.1.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one, man. I definitely think Cyborg's got me laughing over here in the comments talking about sexual chocolate. It's sexual chocolate, everyone. Oh man, you get me going. You get me going on that movie, man, and I can't stop, dude. It's one of my favorites growing up, and I thought the second one was good too. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I thought Coming to America 2 was awesome. So, oh man, yeah, I do think that it's Gibbs, man, next year. I really do. I think that there's a good chance, and I want your guys' thoughts on this. Actually, let me ask you this question: where do you rank the Falcons head coach Raheem Morris on your hot seat?
Ooh.
I think he's probably the hottest hot seat out of the coaching positions, in my opinion, right now.
Ooh,
because he's underperformed with so much talent for so many years.
True. Can't think of anybody else.
Yeah, and he's got an owner that's, kind of like Jerry Jones.
He likes to make waves when he needs to make waves.
Yeah,
100%.
he doesn't screw around. He's down there on the sidelines, got his arms crossed. I mean, with that look, and yeah, if a coaching somebody comes available, it wouldn't shock me if he moves on.
You know what I'm thinking, and don't quote me on this, even though I'm live on the air. Belichick.
Oh, Belichick. Oh,
he made a hard push for Belichick before he went to North Carolina. And this way the situation's playing out down there right now, if he's still in love with him, I mean, that's the kind of old guard coach or old guard owner that would love to bring a Belichick into his no matter what's going on with his love life. So I could see it. I could see it.
Yeah.
You never know.
Right? Yeah, right. That's a crazy little thought right there. Man, next up, let's move on to the next game here. We'll talk a little Titans-Browns, baby. Titans coming in for the victory. I mean, let's be honest here. Who thought that the Browns defense was going to get ran over by the Titans like that? Not a single one of us, right? 31 points they got put on them, and the Browns just couldn't keep up. But it didn't matter, though, because Shedeur Sanders came out there and showed why he should have been probably starting over Gabriel the entire season and just put up some points, man. 23 of 42 for 364, 3 TDs and a pick. He had 3 carries for 29 yards and another TD. I mean, 38 total fantasy points. Where do you guys have Shedeur? Like, do you think that you would have Armin, if you're put yourself in the Browns boat, right? You're Stefanski. You're looking at next season. You got your early draft pick from this seed, probably top 5, maybe 6 or somewhere in that range. Are you moving forward with Shedeur Sanders after what you've seen? Maybe say he puts together maybe not this good, but decent enough performances over the next 3 weeks. Do you think that he is the guy that you would be comfortable with? Or do you say, I don't care how well he did, I'm going and getting my quarterback in the draft?
I mean, I don't know. It depends on what the league is telling me, right? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean, you got something good there with Sanders. You might as well roll with him and save your first round picks for other areas of needs. I'm not a huge Shadur Sanders fan myself, so I can't be enthusiastic about saying just roll with him. But if I'm the Browns GM, which I wouldn't be rational, so Deshaun Watson I hear is like they're considering starting him next year, but we'll see. I think he's shown enough to get a chance next year at the job.
That guy's still alive? Wow, I forgot all about him. Scott, man, what do you think, dog? You like Sanders, man? Are you riding with Shador, or are you gonna go all in for your QB of the future in the draft?
No, I've always been a Shador Sanders truther. I've told you guys that in the draft that I thought he was the second best quarterback coming out of the draft, and everybody passed on him. I think it was because of his father being involved, and he kind of hurt the kid. And the reason why I'm rooting for him is because ever since he was drafted and went to the Browns, he didn't make any excuses. He didn't do anything. He put his head down. He watched tape. He practiced. I mean, you got to remember, he was on the practice squad. He went from the practice squad to the third team he had to work all those way back up. Didn't get the start. Gabriel started over him. Didn't say a word. And when he got his chance, he performed. But the biggest thing out of this game, and this is why I would like to call this it's not the NFL, it's the National Fake You Out League, because everywhere I had Tony Pollard, he was on my bench against the Browns defense, and he goes and explodes for 161 yards and 2 touchdowns. So you never know with these games when you're trying to make lineup decisions, and that's why they call it the National Fake You Out League.
Oh, I mean, you're right about because not only was he Tony Pollard, everybody was saying bench him. He's losing all his carries to Tajay Spears in that offense right now. But he was playing the Browns defense. It was number one right now. Everybody was killing the Browns. Like, the Browns are going to destroy them. Oh, the weather's going to be bad. Oh, it's going to be a great game for Browns D. Start your Browns Ds. And then look, here comes Tony Pollard. Let me just stroll on down this 80-yard touchdown run. Hey guys, how you doing?
It was
Pollard
just crazy. He's projected to be the 33rd running back PPR.
Yeah, so bad.
So that was a good.
Hey, that would have been a good long shot this week.
Oh, yeah. That would have been a huge long shot.
Oh yeah.
You guys will find out more about how to pick those long shots here soon, and you're going to help us pick ours. So don't go anywhere. Stick around. We're going to be picking some long shots here pretty soon. Man, that was what I want to see what's going on, man. Mr. North Sanders, I'm excited. This is going to be a fun last few weeks. At least they got something exciting to watch for over the next few weeks in Cleveland. The next game up, man, this was a big one. Packers 28 versus Bears 21. The score doesn't tell you how close it was. They were literally one play away from potentially tying, and from what I hear, they were going to go for 2 and go for the win too, and not go for the tie. So that would have been a lot of fun to see that play out. But it didn't happen because Caleb Williams wouldn't take the first down, and he went for gusto, and he ended up not getting what they needed. So Watson came out with a huge game though, and in a big game. It's 4 catches, 89 yards, 2 TDs, 2 good TD catches. He 24 total points for him. Do you think going forward, Scotty, that Christian Watson, he is the wide receiver 1 in that offense? Or now that Jaden Reed's back, we have definitely had some plays called for him. He's ramping back up. Do you think that this is still kind of a flash in the pan scenario?
No, I don't think so at all. I think he's fully healthy now. He's the only one in that offense that has long speed. And in this offense, they love those crossing routes, and he runs them to perfection. So the Packers, to me, are trending upwards, and I'm picking them to win that division. I think they're going to beat out the Bears and Lions both and get that division. But Christian Watson looks really good. He looks like a number 1 receiver. And as long as he stays healthy, he'll continue to work magic in that offense.
Yeah, Armin, you agree too, or do you think that Jaden's going to have any kind of say in this?
Watson, man, I'm so happy for him coming back from injury, and he looks the part. I agree with Scott. He's a weapon. He's a weapon for sure.
Yeah, injury after injury after injury after injury for this poor guy. So it is good to see him out there and staying healthy. Hopefully it continues throughout the rest of the season, and he can roll into next season without any dings or dents, and can really be like 100% full go, because he does have the talent. Every time he's healthy, he's proven it. So he did really well in that game. We still had some good games by Love here. Love had 17 and 25 for 234. He threw for 3 TDs and 1 pick, a total of 25 points. So I do think he's kind of coming back on board as far as like you want to play him fantasy wise, but I'd still be really concerned if his matchup isn't great. So yeah, if you can avoid playing him in a bad matchup, definitely do that. The next game that we're going to go over, Lions 44, Cowboys 30, man. What a game this was too, huh? Gibbs just goes crazy. We talked about this a little bit in our closest to the pin short, 12 carries, 43 yards and a TD, and then the lucky sevens. 7 catches, 7 targets, 77 total yards, scored himself 36 points. I mean, Scott, I know we've talked about this a little bit, so Armin, I'm gonna let you take the floor on this one, man. Tell us what you think about Gibbs, man. How did that game make you feel watching him go crazy like that?
Man, Gibbs is, I mean, we earlier in the show were saying he's the 101 undisputed. Yeah, he's showing it. He's an amazing running back. You know, Montgomery's getting older. He's becoming less and less of a factor. He's going to be, I mean, even Montgomery got this game too, and still Gibbs is putting up these numbers. It's crazy. He's so fast. He's elite. You know, the Lions are going to be running this kind of offense for a while. Sky's the limit for Gibbs. Super amazing player.
Yeah, I'm totally with you on that one, man. And he has definitely become that 1.1 for me too. You know, Scotty, man, we had a Florney sighting with CD going down. Florney had 9 catches, 115 yards in the TD for 26 total points. You know, we don't know what's going to happen with CD. I think he's going to be okay. I don't think that he's, you know, in any jeopardy of missing any time. But do you think that this kid Florney is worth stashing in case there is any issues with him? Because it looked like the moment he went down, Florney just became pretty much the CD Lamb in that offense. So what are your thoughts on him for at least a stash?
Oh, he's definitely a stash, not only for this year, but next year. If George Pickens isn't signed and he moves on, Flournoy steps in as that number 2. And then even with going the rest of this year, I think he's solidified himself as a number 3 in that offense. So, you know, even ahead of Ferguson. So I was really amazed with his production when Lamb went down. Dak trusted him. He made some really nice catches. He wasn't like a huge prospect coming out of school, but they may have found something in Big D, and it might be easier to move on from George Pickens because George Pickens is going to demand a huge contract. And now you're going to have all your money wrapped up in CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, and George Pickens. You're not going to have any money for anyone else. So you got to let somebody go. And, you know, somebody like this that steps up in your offense, that's young, you don't have to pay him a lot. And sometimes you have to make tough decisions, and you may have to move on from George Pickens.
Yeah, I mean, Armin, do you think that they're going to move on from Pickens, or do you think they're going to make every effort to keep him?
Man, it's tough to know what's going on in Jerry's world. But you know, Pickens has proven he's 1A, 1B right there with Lamb. Great, just improvement all across the board in wide receiver skills, route running. He's always been a good, like, you know, deep ball catcher, tracking the ball and things like that. But I don't know. Like they got rid of Parsons, right? Did that free up a lot of cash? Maybe they got enough.
I mean, that could be true too. Yeah, that could be true too.
But yeah, I would say yes. But you know, well, I do agree with Scott's points. Like if you believe Flournoy, or however you say it, if he's got the talent there, you know, spend elsewhere. The Cowboys definitely need to spend on their pass rush.
I know a team that could use the services of one George Pickens, one Georgia Great, Georgia ex-Georgia Great, but they don't fit our culture here in Buffalo.
So you guys know that's a little bit of an inside smack, that joke. Scott's coming at me because we had to talk about that, and he asked me if I thought George Pickens would be on the Bills' radar, and I told him no because I know how they are about their culture there, and I don't think George Pickens is the type of player that they would say fits that culture. And so that obviously upset Scott, as you can tell by his reaction.
Incredible.
I mean, I'm not hating. If they go after George, I'll be happy to have him, but I just don't see it. That's all I'm saying. Oh man, the fantasy game of the week. Let's just go into that one and stop this George Pickens talk. This game right here, guys. Rams 45, Cardinals 17. You talk about some fantasy destruction. Armin was talking about how he got beat up this year. I'm sure a lot of those blows came from some of these guys on the screen right now. They all had some really good games out there today, especially that little number 22 sitting right there in the middle, man. Where'd that come from, huh?
Ex-Michigan great. Ex-Michigan great.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Scott's got to talk about his, maize and blue or whatever, maize and whatever tones those are. Matthew Stafford, moving on, Georgia Bulldog. Matthew Stafford, 29 fantasy points, 22 of 31 for 281 yards and 3 TDs total to get that 29 points. Puka Nacua had 7 of those catches for 167 yards and 2 touchdowns, which, and if you watch the game, some of his catches were just beastly. The man is just doing it again this year. Blake Corum, 25 fantasy points. Weird 12 carries for 128 yards. Came out of nowhere, 3 TDs. And then Michael Wilson again, another big game for the guy, 37 fantasy points, 11 catches for 142 yards and 2 TDs. Armin, man, tell me a little bit about which one of these players hurt you the most and which one are you the most excited about next week as far as, maybe somebody that helps you instead of hurts you.
So this is an interesting question because Stafford, he didn't hurt me the most, but technically he did because that's who I benched in favor of Lamar Jackson for those 3 weeks. It's like if I had started him, I probably would be in the playoffs. But Stafford's having a great year. Good to see that. This Corum stat line is very interesting. I didn't catch much of this game. I didn't realize he had quite an amazing game. What happened to Kyron, right?
He had a great game still too, actually.
Okay.
His stat line wasn't terrible either. It's just that Corum made the most of his opportunities out there and had a couple of really big runs.
Yeah, I saw some of the highlights, him busting off the long runs. Michael Wilson is very, very interesting. I actually went and made a last-minute trade for him in one of my 32-team leagues.
Very smart, very smart.
Yeah.
What tier did you have Michael Wilson in Longshots last week?
What tier? He's probably definitely a long shot tier or third tier.
Yeah, was he tier 2?
Surprised if he was. Sorry,
tier 2. I'm thinking maybe 3.
I think he probably a third tier or fourth tier. So no way he's ever getting projected to be in the top two tiers. So
look at that.
But he's a popular pick.
Hey, that's why you're sitting up there at the top of that leaderboard, which you guys will see soon, and I'm not. I'm not even close. But that means that our Mr. Grimm audience picks has a very good opportunity to pass me before the season's over. So it'll be an interesting setup. But Scotty, man, who's your favorite out of this bunch right here?
Oh, it's definitely Michael Wilson. Marvin Harrison Jr., please stay out because this Michael Wilson is just like tearing it up. Every week it's double-digit targets, double-digit receptions, getting in the box. The Cardinals can't run. They suck at football. So, they're awesome at fantasy football. So, they just scored points and points and points between him and McBride. So, and Brissett. So play all your Cardinals on offense. It doesn't matter because they're going to suck and they're going to throw the ball.
Absolutely. Yeah. I agree with everything you guys have said. I'm just really disappointed that none of you guys actually brought up Puka Nacua in that conversation because the man was just a beast once again. And if you've got your Puka and your Matthew shares, you are probably rolling into these playoffs ready to roll.
That's the expectation for Puka, right? That's nothing normal or nothing. Yeah.
Just because that doesn't mean that you celebrate the man. Just because he gets employed a month every week doesn't mean he doesn't deserve a cupcake.
Actually, if I was going to say like a runner-up, to me it would have been Stafford because Stafford was drafted, as a third quarterback in some super flex leagues. And in one quarterback leagues, he was in the double-digit rounds, and you've got basically an MVP candidate, the whole year. So if anybody is a constellation prize for your question, to me it's definitely Matt Stafford.
Wow. So Puka doesn't even make it up there for you, huh?
Yeah, but Puka, like you always say, Sean, the low-hanging fruit. He was a late first, early second round pick. Stafford was taken in the double digits. Michael Wilson was probably not even drafted like in the late teens. And these are two guys that, at least for the short term until Harrison comes back, Wilson could be that guy that if Marvin Harrison doesn't come back, he could take you and win the ship.
That's 100%. True. It's very true. I mean, it's definitely. I don't know. I just because the man was drafted in the first round doesn't mean that you can hate on him for this conversation. I still think he deserves his kudos. He had more fantasy points than anybody else on that screen.
Sean just wishes he was on the Bills.
Gotta give him
some love. He was on the Bills. They're thirsting for a wide receiver one.
I mean, hey, I want Marvin Harrison to stay out, like you said, because then that way I could go ahead and have them grab Marvin Harrison from the Cardinals because Michael Wilson is so good. They don't need to pay all that money for Marvin Harrison, right? They can just trade him over to Buffalo and let Buffalo give him a couple first-round picks for him and pay him all that money, and they can keep their number one Michael Wilson over there. So, hey, I'm good with that. Totally fine with that. That works for me. I think he fits the culture. Oh man. So for third down today, guys, we're gonna do something a little special for you guys. We're gonna roll on into some FanCred introduction. Armin here is gonna tell you all about FanCred and what they have to offer. It's really exciting new company that is bringing an option to you guys that can just help expand your fantasy knowledge and give you guys another avenue to support your funding for your fantasy leagues. So I'll let Armin break everything down for you guys here and get into that for you. Armin, man, you feel free to take it away, my friend.
Thank you, Sean. Thanks for having me on the podcast, on the live stream show. FanCred. So this is a company that I started earlier this year. Our goal is to make the fantasy sports online community more connected through ratings and providing a better experience in terms of league management, whether that's through league payments or just managing the members in the league, and then seeing how high quality members of your league are. So I'm going to go ahead and roll through the screen here. You can see it's a pretty clean interface. We've got a few different payment options here. You can use Zelle, which is fee-free.
Say that one more time because I feel like that's a pretty big option right there that people need to make sure they hear. Zelle is fee-free, guys. So if you use FanCred to do your league and you use Zelle to actually pay, you don't get an extra 52 cents for $50 or whatever that extra little additional fee is when you use your Zelle. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, 100%. Credit card via Stripe, there are fees for these other options. And then you could also use Venmo, whether you use a Venmo balance, debit card, or Venmo credit card. So we've got those options available to you. Payouts, well, I don't have any funds, so it won't let me do any payouts, but we pay out through Zelle and Venmo as well, fee-free. And if you need just, a good old e-check, a printable check that you need to deposit in your bank because you don't have Zelle or Venmo, there's that option available for $1.
Yep.
So
and you probably still have one of those really old blenders in your kitchen too.
Yeah. I think a lot of the Canadian people up north, that's the only option you have. Unfortunately, Zelle and Venmo are not available to you. Though I think Venmo is going to start doing some PayPal integration, so I'll be in tune with that. So you don't have to worry about keeping up with that. But moving on more, so you got a transaction log here, and let's go into the leagues, right? Because that's what makes this interesting. You can see all the leagues. I'm in quite a few here, but let's go into the Fantasy Community Captains League, which Scott and Sean are a part of.
And not doing very good in.
Yeah, unfortunately. But you can see here, pretty clean interface, got all the details here. This is a league that FanCred sponsored, put up some money for. And I'm not actually the commissioner. My user is not the commissioner here, so I can't show those details. But
it's a really friendly or interface there. I mean, it looks like a pretty user-friendly option for people if they're comfortable with League Safe. This is going to be an easy way to transfer over here and understand what's going on. It's pretty easy to understand your setup here, I think.
Yeah, one of the things that I know troubled me when I was using other options was that your username in FanCred might differ from the one in Sleeper per se. So you have an option here to actually like record that here. And that can get automatically populated through profiles. So if I look at my own profile here, you can see my Sleeper username is Commissioner. So if I join a league that's also Sleeper platform, it's just going to automatically populate that, which is nice. So this profile page right here is the bread and butter of FanCred and what we hope to really complete our vision. So you can see here we have Commissioner ratings, which this is our first season in business, so everyone starts out with 0. But we also have just a league mate rating, because one of the problems that I saw in the space was that a lot of leagues would get started and then someone would quit mid-draft, or people would just start becoming inactive, and there's no data on that. Like, you don't know the quality of players that you're getting into leagues with. And so I sought to really solve that problem by starting a rating system, get some data out there, so at least you know who the high quality league mates are. This gets affected by voting at the end of the season. You can kind of give a keep trade cut rating on all of your league mates, and even rating someone helps your rating too. So it's you're incentivized to participate in this overall rating system, which I hope makes the fantasy online community just more transparent on who's a good player versus not.
I appreciate that option. That's awesome, especially if you're in a situation where you're joining leagues where you don't know anybody else who's in that league. It'd be nice to have some peace of mind to know that your commissioner is being rated with a high rating. And it's just like if you're getting an Uber, you want to know your Uber drivers have got a good rating.
Exactly, 100%. One other feature I want to show here is the matchmaking side of things. So you can, for next season, if you're looking for leagues, you can search based off these different criteria. And basically, there's not a whole lot of leagues here right now, so I don't think we're going to find anything. But there's a lot of different settings that you can choose to find your perfect league. One of the cool features here is, I think this is sort of a hypothesis, but one of the hypotheses that I have is if you value players very similarly, you're likely to have easier trading partners within a league. So there was this option where you can kind of just do a little ELO rating check. Takes a little bit, compare and contrast players, but this would match you up with like-minded league mates when you're searching for leagues if you actually complete this. So
I like that.
Yeah, so you can see, based on my left and right analysis, these are how I rate these certain players.
So you just tendered your fantasy players?
I just did a quick rating.
Little swipe left, swipe right.
Yeah, basically. So yeah, you can see my player rating style is actually contrarian to the expert consensus rankings. It's like a 19% correlation. So yeah, maybe you're better off finding leagues where most people are contrarian. So there's that. All this to say, we're hoping that plays into just making the online league experience easier. I hate posting my league on Reddit, then I got to post it on Facebook, then I got to post it on sleeper forums. It's better if it's just in one place and you can essentially just join a league from there and you're in your payments platform already. So being the Airbnb of fantasy leagues is sort of another kind of thing we say, is to just have it all in one experience and make it better.
Right. No, it's
awesome.
A pretty smooth looking interface, and you don't need all the bells and whistles all the time. I want something that I can just look at it, get to it, get what I need to know, and not have where League Safe sometimes it's a little difficult to navigate through, but I don't know, maybe that's just because I'm old.
That's a little cumbersome format for sure. I think this format here is user friendly from just the view of it in general. I can tell already, and from I've obviously used it and played around in there myself as well, and it's really easy to kind of pick up. It's not anything that should scare anybody away because it's new. It's definitely got a very easy way for you to just kind of get started with it. And it does give you the opportunity, like Armin mentioned, to have a little better peace of mind when you're going into a league.
100%. I don't think you're just old, Scott. I myself have trouble with it. I mean, I'm a little on the older side too, but I build this kind of stuff every day, so I know when I'm talking about user experience, it's like, oh, why does that show up that way in League Safe? So it's there's a lot of improvements I made here based on that experience. One of the biggest ones is Dynasty Leagues. I don't know how many Dynasty players we have watching right now, but you know how you have to create future years, and so you have multiple things to manage. Well, in FanCred, you only have one league, and at the end of the season, you just roll it over to the next year. You don't have to worry. You can pay into the league at any time. So say here, I can still pay into this league. I'm not going to get charged anything like a late fee or anything like that. And that just gets whatever. If I pay for future draft picks, right, that will just get rolled over whatever balance I have to the next year. I wish I could show that right now, but it's not the end of the season.
Hey, I wanted to ask you one question because it's just popped in my head because I had a problem with this in League Safe. So I was managing a dynasty league. I had funds for multiple years already paid up, and something happened where we missed a year. So one of the years got held back, and there was a timeline where if the league was inactive for a certain amount of time, I was getting charged like a $15 fee every day.
Oh, yeah. Goodness.
For not having the league activated. So I had to write League Safe, tell them, no, I'm going to use these. I'm just going to transfer these funds over to a new year because we missed it. And they ended up refunding the money back and ended up helping me move it. But it was just, if I didn't go and look at it, I would have drained all the funds. Because it was like every week they were charging me $15 for an inactive account.
Wow.
So
amazing.
Instead of messaging me, telling me, hey, by the way, this is funds been inactive. Are you still in it? Or do you want us to roll it over to a new account? They just kept taking the money out. And I think when I logged in, I was like down like $100.
Oh, goodness.
And so, yeah, but they gave me the money back. I mean, they cleaned everything up, but do you have a fail safe for that? Or is there something where somebody forgets about funds in a league? Do you contact them or do you, will they know?
It will stay we don't take out fees like that.
Okay.
If it stays in there, but we will have customer support messages go out to any funds that we see are kind of inactive or not being acted on. But yeah, hopefully, we don't kind of have that situation.
Yeah, I know you're still new. You probably haven't had any of that, obviously, but that's just something that, like I said, popped in my head. And then I know you've explained a lot. And for those guys that are playing in leagues, people are such a creature of habit. They're so afraid of change. And if we're trying to get people to move from League Safe to FanCred, and you're on the spot, like what's one thing you can tell them to, that you think would get them to move the needle?
I would say, a lot of the stuff I showed here, right? There's a fee-free option. This is very community focused. We've got a long-term vision on building a lot of cool features, like Longshots per se. But yeah, we're hungry to just serve the fantasy community in ways that others haven't in a long time. I don't think the other services have offered anything new in a long time. And we're just fantasy football obsessed, and we want to make the best product for people, for fantasy sports communities online. And so that's if I can show that through the features that we build, through making sure that everyone has a better experience than they would otherwise, like that's what FanCred is about. And I hope that message just gets out and people will give us a shot.
I love it. So let's, Armin, tell us a little bit about Longshots, because we want to talk about that. And then you guys in the audience right now, we're going to need some comments from you guys here real soon about who we're going to pick. So Run them through how we do this here, Armin, so they know how to pick these players for us.
All right. So Longshots is an ode to the underdogs, the overlooked, the underrated. When we're playing fantasy, right? We love starting our Puka Nakuas. You know, we got to give him some mention here. But, you know, Michael Wilson, no one's going to reasonably start him most times. I mean, maybe nowadays he will. But this is an ode to saying, let's look at the Jalen Nailers, the Parker Washingtons. I hope everyone here on the show knows who those people are. Otherwise, you know, it's like, oh, you gotta watch more ball. But these guys, they need their you know, they need their spotlight, and this is what Longshots will do for them. So the idea behind Longshots is we incentivize you to focus on the long shots that will end up being a top tier player. I think, let's see, if we look at the leaderboard, so here are some of my picks, right? Last week, I had a long shot in Kamani Vidal. He was ranked 33, really broke through there, ended up in the top tier at number 4 overall, netted me a nice 25 points. Whereas, you know, some long shots don't pay off. Keenan Allen was a long shot, didn't pay off, didn't hurt me, right? So if we go back to the rules and the scoring board here, long shots will never hurt you, but right, they're a long shot. It's very hard to pick up the right one that's going to be the top tier player that will get you the 25 points. If you want to play it safe, you can pick a top tier player, but they better be top tier, right? Otherwise, it can hurt you if they ended up just having a really bad game. You'll get negative points.
All about Josh Allen a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. So, you know, probably Jalen Hurts this week. Probably got negative 5 points for anyone that picked him. So you're more incentivized to pick the long shots or a third tier player to net the points without much risk. But if, you know, sometimes you might be like, wow, I really need some points this week. You might go with the higher tier. So there is a bit of strategy to the game, but really it's an ode to the underdogs. And let's focus on the people down here. Oh, Shadur. This one's for you, Scott, since you're the big Shadur fan here. He's just outside in starting the long shot tier, so he might be a good pick. But I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Sean for you guys to try out now.
Hey, one quick question. I think Cyborg's got a quick question for you, Armin, about
he's wanting to know. He said he's got a lot of comments and great reviews on his league safe because he's been running a lot of leagues through there for a good while. And he's wondering if there's a way to transfer over that information or anything so that he wouldn't have to kind of start from scratch with a brand new profile.
We can work that out. You know, I haven't had any such requests thus far, but that's an interesting thing. I'd love to talk to you and see how we could go about doing that.
We can get you in touch with Cyborg too. He's a friend of ours, so we can definitely get you guys in communication if you want to discuss it a little more so you can fully understand exactly what he wants and see if there's a way you can make it work for him, because that does sound like a legitimate thing. You're probably going to get some people who really want to have that option if they do have a good rating and everything already made out in league safe.
Yeah. Cyborg's a good friend of ours. He runs quite a few really, really good March Madness pools where he gets like 200-300 people in these pools. So and he obviously uses league safe. So yeah, that's something that, you know, we'll get you guys contacted and you guys can discuss that.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Please. Great question. And I want to serve the community in that way. And I think that's a good thing to think about for FanCred going forward.
Awesome. Yeah, and I'm stoked on that. I'm glad that we can connect the two of you guys. I think that'll be a good partnership there for you guys to work out. So what we're going to do here, guys, for you is Armin was nice enough to give us an account for Mr. Grimm to be able to do some long shot picks. And we figured that you guys should get the opportunity to pick Mr. Grimm's picks for us. So he was nice enough to say, go ahead, guys, let the audience pick my picks. I trust what they say. They're smart fantasy people. And we said, okay, Mr. Grimm, we are going to do that. So we're going to go forward right now, picking these teams for you guys. So Cyborg, I know you're here. There's a few of you guys in here too as well beyond Cyborg. So get out those keyboard fingers and get ready to start telling us what players to go for. As you can see here, we're going to start with quarterbacks. Josh is the top ranked guy. As you roll down, you can see these guys are all tier 1. And as we move our ticker down the road here, we're going into our tier 2. So what I need from you guys right now is to grab me the quarterback that you think I want to make this guy a long shot. So give us a long shot quarterback that you think this week is going to have a great game. And while we're waiting on some answers from you guys in the audience, me and Scotty and Armin are going to pick some guys that we like. Maybe not per se the guys we're going to take, but some guys that we think have some shots. So Scotty, let's start with you, brother. Go ahead and we're going to start with, let me get to our tier 4 range for us. We're going to start with our long shots here. First one on the board in the list is Shedeur Sanders, Aaron Rodgers, Tua Tagovailoa, Kirk Cousins, Cam Ward, Riley Leonard, who we don't know for sure is going to be Phillip Rivers or Riley Leonard at this point. Scott, out of those quarterbacks, is there one that you like for a long shot pick for this week? Who's your favorite? We'll say that out of this group.
Well, I mean, we all know who the favorite's going to be. I mean, it's a good old double S. I mean, going into the Chicago, it should be a nice little shootout, even though the over-under is only 39.5. Maybe they'll be able to get through that. But I got a really, really sneaky long shot, and that's just because I watched this guy play in college at Notre Dame. And it's Riley Leonard, man. If this guy could just walk in the end zone and get you that touchdown, which he does have rushing ability, you really just need to get him in the box one time. If he throws,
they're not playing him over the 40-year-old man who doesn't know what a cuss word is.
Well, I mean, that's assuming we know who. Oh yeah, we got to have these picks in by Thursday then. So yeah, so I guess I wouldn't be able to pick him. But if I really, I mean, I guess if I really wanted to, I would go with Leonard. But I'll go with Sanders.
Ooh, Sanders.
Leonard going up against my Seahawks, so I don't know. I would not pick him.
All he has to do is walk in the box. Just walk in the box one time, and he'll probably,
I'm with you, Armin. He would have been the last guy on my list, so I definitely would not have picked him.
Hey, it's a long shot game, right?
Yeah, that's a long shot of long shots, though. I mean, let's we don't have to make it worse.
Oh, by the way, you mentioned you have to get your picks in by Thursday. That is not true anymore, actually.
Oh, it's not.
I made some changes last night that allow picks past Thursday up until the Sunday kickoff. But the Thursday players will be unselectable. So that was some feedback that I got.
So now you procrastinators like Scott can get in there and make your picks before the weekend games.
I was so excited to put my picks in. I was like, okay, I did my research. I'm like, all right. I go to put. I'm like, God, I can't put these guys in. I call Sean. Sean's like, yeah, the Thursday games are done already. You can't do that.
Well, now you can. So there you go.
Awesome.
Right? Thanks to people like you, Scott, he fixed that for him.
Awesome.
So Scott picks up Riley Leonard or AKA Shedeur Sanders.
I'm taking Shedeur.
He's taking Shedeur. Armin, who's your guy?
I actually I like old man Rodgers here. Had a good showing last week, and Miami's not like tough defense. I like it.
Well, Rudolph is telling me that I should probably go with Shedeur Sanders, but this is not my pick. This is the audience's pick, and Cyborg has made the name for the audience pick of Tua.
All right.
Tagovailoa.
So Mr. Grimm will be taking Tua Tagovailoa as his long shot quarterback for Week 15, Miami versus Pittsburgh. I mean, Miami's been playing really good. I can't hate on that pick right now. I definitely think it would have been between him or Shedeur Sanders if I had a choice on this. And, Tua definitely is my second one. So good job there, Cyborg. Okay, let us know what you're going to think about the running backs here, too, because we're going to do the same thing for the running backs. We're going to continue with the long shot theme. We're going to stick with long shots across the board for Mr. Grimm's picks, guys, because we always want to make sure that he has a chance to catch up to Armin before the end of the season.
By the way, you can filter if you just want to look at long shots here. If you look at the top or go down right above the players, like you got search, you've got team, you got a tier filter.
Tier 4. Look at that. See that? This is why you have a man like Armin making these things happen. Does a great job. And look at that. Who's at the top of our list right there? Your best friend, Tony Pollard, playing against the Niners. Tony Pollard, Zonovan Knight, Kareem Hunt, Devin Singletary, Tyrone Tracy, and Blake Corum are
also a good long shot pick last week.
The list. I know who I like. Armin, Scott went first last time. You got the ball this time. Who
I mean, Pollard, no. San Francisco Lightning strikes twice. I don't think so. Let's move right a little bit. Let's go past Blake Corum. What do we got? I mean,
I don't even see my guy on there.
You got David Montgomery, Kenneth Gainwell, Zach Charbonnet, Kamini Vidal, Ramondre Stevenson.
You know what? This is gonna sound biased, but I'm going Charbonnet.
Woo! This guy taking a Seahawk. It doesn't sound biased at all.
The Colts might have trouble moving the ball. It might be one of those games, and Charbonnet has a huge share of the running game. So,
what's up, Paulie? We got Paulie in the show saying "Squish the fish" because he's a Bills fan. Go Paulie, go Bills. That's right. So Scott, he picks his Charbs. So are you gonna go ahead and take your David Montgomery now? So we're just gonna have a homer session right now, or what's going on?
No, I mean, can I ask where a guy's at, and you can tell me what tier he's at?
Who do you want?
You can search by player name. If you
look and see where Chris Rodriguez Jr. is.
Ooh, he is a tier 3 guy. We could go tier 3. That's low enough, I think, to catch him to an extent.
Okay,
but this is not our pick. This is not up to us. This is up to the audience. So, but you like Chris Rodriguez?
Well, I like him because he's minus 125 to get in the box.
Yeah, that's not a bad pick. I mean, I would go with Corum if I had a choice right here. After the game he had, I just think that they're gonna have no choice but to give him some love in that offense. And
is Corum a 4?
I think the Rams are going to be playing a good game. What's that?
Corum a 4?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What do you think, Cyborg and Paulie? You guys tell us though, man. Who do you like out of these guys that we just talked about on the board here? If there's anybody you see listed that we didn't talk about either, you tell us which one you want, and we'll get them up here on the board for you. If we don't hear from you guys in a few seconds, then we'll go ahead and give you guys Corum because I do think he's the best one to have out of the bunch. Sorry, Armin, I don't mean to hurt your feelings. I know that you like your Charbs, and I can't hate you for it. Seahawks and all, but I mean, Corum, Ram, they're just better, dude.
I mean, they're both Michigan guys. I mean,
Corum looked nice. He looked nice last week.
It did. I'm going to go ahead and pick Corum for them because I feel like Corum is definitely the right play for the running backs if we're going to go for the tier 4. So wide receivers, moving on to wide receivers, we have Jerry Jeudy as our top guy in the tier 4, Alec Pierce, Quentin Johnston, Jaden Reed, Troy Franklin, or Jaden Higgins, rounding out the top 5. I'm sorry, 6. Scott, which guy here is screaming at you? I got one myself, and I think you're going to pick the same guy, but I want to see if you're my guy or not.
Well, I'm going to go in a shootout game. I'm going Jaden Higgins.
Ooh.
You're going Higgins. So where are you at, Armin? Is that where you were going?
I don't follow much Higgins, but that is a good pick against Arizona. I was leaning towards Troy Franklin. I mean, we haven't heard from him in a while. I think this is one of those games where he's like, "Hey, I'm here."
Yeah, no, I'm with you too. I think Troy Franklin is a guy. He's kind of sneaking his way into that wide receiver 1 role for that offense. I like him. I like Jaden Reed too, getting more work in that offense. I don't like their matchup though all that much. Quentin Johnston in the game against KC, I think to be a sneaky good play. I really do. But I think you're right, Scott. I think Jaden Higgins is the guy that's just kind of staring at you in the face right now. He's getting a lot of targets, and they're going against the defense that is just putrid. So I would definitely go that route. Cyborg is agreeing with us. He says Higgins is the way to go. So he says Alec Pierce is a close second, which is not a bad choice. We're going to go ahead and take their first pick as Higgins, and that will be the pick for receiver, which leaves us one more spot. Everybody's favorite position, the tight ends. I mean, you're talking tier 4 and tight ends. You're basically you're still talking about a top 12 tight end at this point, aren't you? Like, that's how bad this position is. But you got TJ Hawkinson, Mike Gesicki, Gunnar Helm, Kate Otten, Pat Freiermuth, Darnell Washington. Armin, do you want me to scroll a little bit more here? Is there somebody on this list?
It's pretty rough out here in tier 4 tight end land. Like I think as I've played for a few weeks, tight end's probably the one position where I'm like, tier 3, tier 2 is kind of nice because you're gonna get some points there. Kate Otten stuck out to me playing against Atlanta. He's had some good games. He's got a chance to be. Oh, Mike Gesicki too. He had a great game.
Definitely the white gritty. Got to get the white gritty in there.
White gritty. I'm with you on that one. That's a good matchup right there.
Yeah, I don't mind I think if I had to take a choice between them, it'd be the top two, TJ or Gesicki. TJ is more just because they're playing Dallas, and he's just too talented of a player not to start to get some targets, and they're gonna have to throw the ball. So we'll see what happens there. But I think Kate Otten is definitely a solid choice on the back end for you guys. And then it looks like Cyborg is agreeing with you guys too, and saying that Kate Otten is the way to go. So that is going to be Mr. Grimm's lineup for the week. You've got Tua Tagovailoa, Blake Corum, Jaden Higgins, and Cade Otten as your picks for Mr. Grimm. So that's amazing, guys. We appreciate you, Cyborg, especially you, brother, for helping out a lot with all that. Anybody else who wants to, following what we're going to do is we're going to go over the results of this in the beginning of next week's show. And then we're going to give you guys an opportunity to do this at the end of every show for the remaining of the season, because we want to see if we can catch Armin. So that's the name of the game, guys. It's for us. It's catching Armin, so we could try to take the long shots.
Show that leaderboard.
yeah, the leaderboard right now, guys. If you didn't see it earlier, the leaderboard right now has Armin at a whopping 69 points higher than everybody. The next closest guy is 52, so he's dominating all of us, not just me. And as you can tell, me and Scott. I mean, I only got 5 points on here. Scott doesn't even have any points because he's missed last week. We're not. You're gonna catch us, no problem. We got to catch Armin though. That's the guy we got to hit.
In this game, anything can happen. If you see the number 30 player OF Olsen there, his first week playing was last week, and he hit 2 long shots, which is crazy. So that's why this game really focuses on those long shot players.
Right. Yeah. If we can hit 3 of the 4 long shots, we'll be in first place next week, guys. So, this is your team. Cyborg, you picked all these guys this week. So this is definitely your week right here. So tune in early next week like you always do so that you can catch how well you did. And then we'll be doing it again next week. So we're going to need everybody's assistance every week we do this to help move forward and make sure that we can catch Armin in our long shots.
Good luck.
That's awesome. I like that game, man. That's a really fun game.
He says good luck. Give you guys a jab. Yeah, good luck, guys.
Right. And those are the kinds of things that, Armin's looking to do, incorporate more of a community vibe with his FanCred website and app. So I really do think that it's going to be a good synergy between us with FanCred as we move forward and continue to do leagues together. So keep up there, guys, with everything. All the great questions that we had today was really amazing. If you haven't already, please go like and subscribe to the show. Armin, man, how much fun did you have today on the show, brother? Did you enjoy yourself?
Man, I had a ton of fun. Appreciate you guys having me on, and some good takes and some bad ones too. Sorry, but
hey, you know what?
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to football. That's right. And for myself, Sean, and my co-host Scott and Armin, our good friend, guest on the pod today, we gotta say thank you guys for being here. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Have a happy Christmas and a Merry New Year. We will see you guys next week. Have a wonderful night.